It's only game 11, and we are closing in on the first quarter of the NHL season for the Boston Bruins, as well as, after this game happens, the halfway point of the season series against the Philadelphia Flyers. Because this will be the fourth time that the Boston Bruins have played them. They play them 8 times. They play everyone in their division 8 times. That's the way it works. And the Boston Bruins are coming off 3 consecutive come-from-behind victories, all of which they were at some point down 3-1. And I believe if the NESN broadcast said this right, I might have miswrote this. The first time that a team has come back from 2+ goals behind since the 2003-2004 San Jose Sharks team. That's just impressive. Nobody has done that in 17 years. Keep that in mind. So, the Bruins against the Flyers one more time, halfway through the season series with them, and all I am asking is, can we just not wait till the third period to score our goal? That would be nice, please. Find out. Bruins Recap Show. Boston Bruins. We start things off in the first period. It's 2 U's, 2 K's, Tuukka Rask getting the start again as he takes on old man Brian Elliott. The backup goalie for the Philadelphia Flyers is Carter Hart, not in the lineup today. Normally, I would think that this would have been Jaro Halak's start, but with the cancellation and postponement of the games against the Buffalo Sabres that would have happened on Saturday, Tuukka Rask does get the start tonight, although I could be completely wrong in saying that. Anyway, hats off to Patrice Bergeron for participating in his 1,100th NHL game. Just mad props to that. That is quite an accomplishment. The longevity of Patrice Bergeron. All of his games, of course, with the Boston Bruins. Just a fantastic career. And it's going to continue for a little bit longer, hopefully. I would like him to get 1,200 before he ends his career, at least, if not more so than that. But still, 1,100 games is quite an impressive feat. But with about between 14 and 16 minutes into the first period, and it's a cavalcade, a parade of Boston Bruins into the penalty box. Connor Clifton gets a fighting major. Chris Wagner goes off for roughing. Those are both matching penalties, of course. And then Charlie McAvoy on a 4-on-4 goes off for a high stick. So now it's a 4-on-3. A little bit later on, after killing off the 4-on-3, it's back to 5-on-5. There's a little bit of confusion. Anyway, Brendan Carlo goes off for a hooking penalty. In the first period alone, there was 3 power plays for the Philadelphia Flyers. At one point, social distancing inside the penalty box, virtually impossible. I mean, look at this lunacy. There was about 4 Bruins players in the penalty box, crammed like sardines. Either way, the Boston Bruins were able to keep everything out of their net. The penalty kill looking stellar, and they keep it clean. We go to the room, tied 0-0. We go to the second period, and not much happening in the second period until the Flyers go shorthanded. They kill off the penalty, and ends up on the stick of Joel Farabee, who comes right out of the box on a breakaway. He gets hooked up by Brendan Carlo, and the referee says, penalty shot. And on that penalty shot, Joel Farabee will attempt to score on Tuukka Rask. Tuukka Rask says, I don't think so, son. And we end the second period in a defensive struggle, tied 0-0. At the end of the second period, it is JVR with a very not good hit on Chris Wagner. Chris Wagner would take exception to it and start wailing away with extra cheap shots to the head of JVR. The referee, Steve Kazari, says Wagner into the box for the retaliation because you cannot retaliate 9 out of 10 times. The retaliating penalty is the one that gets called. 27 seconds into the third period on the power play, and Kevin Hayes loses the puck. He gets it back, gives it to Claude Giroux. Giroux up to the point to Gustafsson. Hake takes the shot, and JVR does what James Van Riemsdyk does best. He's in front of the net. He tips it through the 5-hole of Tuukka Rask. makes it a 1-0 hockey game on the power play. According to the Philadelphia Flyers broadcast, James Van Riemsdyk is the active leader in the NHL for tip-in goals. I believe it. I don't know if that's an actual statistic. Somebody please fact check that in the comments, but I believe that. It's kind of what he does. So because of that retaliation penalty, you saw very much in the third period, Chris Wagner stapled to the bench for obvious reasons, just putting the team in a very bad situation going into the third period on the power play. Anyway, a little bit later on in the third period, it's a face-off win from Patrice Bergeron. It goes back to Charlie McAvoy. McAvoy takes the ice and skates around the Philadelphia net. Pass looking to be intended for the slot for Patrice Bergeron, but it ends up trickling all the way to David Pastrnak. He takes a shot. There is chaos and confusion. Multiple orange jerseys. There's white jerseys. Steve Kazari's in there. An elephant, a clown car, a traffic jam. It's all kinds of chaos in front of Brian Elliott, but Brad Marchand eventually, I think they credit it to Brad Marchand anyway, he gets enough of it, bounces it in just enough. It goes in 1-1. A greasy, gritty, grimy goal from the Boston Bruins to tie this one up 27 seconds later. Charlie McAvoy begins the rush from in front of his own net, passes it up to David Krejci. David Krejci passes it up to Anders Bjork, who controls it into the zone. And this is just a sweet backhand drop pass to Sean Kuraly, who blasts it off the pipe and in. And the Bruins, yet again, in the third period, fall from behind and come back to win in the third period. The fourth consecutive come-from-behind victory for Boston. This time they only were down 1 goal, not 3, not 2, just 1. It's all good. And don't look now, but the Boston Bruins in 4 games against the Philadelphia Flyers have taken all 8 points. And in this division, that's what you have to do. You have to find ways to snag points. Whether it's 7 of 8, all 8, all 16 if you're lucky, but that's very unlikely that they're going to sweep the Philadelphia Flyers. I doubt that's going to happen at all. Anyway, 3 stars of the game. Star number 3, Brad Marchand, give him a goal, a greasy, grimy, gritty goal from Marchand. Star number 2 with a great backhand feed. And this is the first time I can officially praise Anders Bjork, who's been solid as a bottom 9 player or a bottom 6 player on that the third and the fourth line for Boston. Just been playing really, really well. And your number 1 star, the game-winning goal for Sean Kuraly. So this game in particular, it was a gritty defensive slugfest. The final shots, 24 Philadelphia, 23 for the Boston Bruins. Just not a whole lot of of offensive possession, shooting. It was very, very defensive throughout the entire game. So kudos to Boston to be able to pull 2 points out of this one. So what would be the next 2 games for the Boston Bruins, which would be Saturday and Monday against the Buffalo Sabres. Those have been postponed due to COVID. So the Boston Bruins get 4 days of rest. And then they have to travel off to Madison Square Garden, the Mecca, the Mayhel, the capital of the wrestling world, because I am a wrestling fan. And they will take on the New York Rangers, who are struggling to some extent. So we'll see how the Boston Bruins will do as they renew the rivalry against the Rangers on the next Bruins Recap Show.